The cold-blooded triggerman captured on surveillance camera as he entered Emanuel AME Church. A young white man, 5'9", slender, clean-shaven, with sandy blonde hair. The mass murderer, soon identified as 21-year-old Dylan Roth. What the shooter said before firing shots leads police to believe he killed the victims because they were black.
He targeted black people here. He targeted a certain group. He got himself into the church, pretended he was part of the prayer group, that he was interested, and then allegedly said, you know what, I'm here to shoot black people because you are raping our women and you are taking over our country.
I know a lot of us are sitting around yesterday and today and we're going, how did this happen? Well, we're hearing more information about the shooting itself at this point. 21-year-old Dylan Roof there made his way down Calhoun Street, fairly busy street, mind you, got to 110 Calhoun, entered Emanuel AME Church because, as he told investigators, he wanted to start a race war.
Just chilling. Once inside, he sat down in a small room with 12 others there to attend Bible study on a Wednesday evening. We now have a Snapchat video, believe it or not, taken just moments before the killings.
Yes.
So, yeah,
want to talk a little bit more about it.
Just want to throw it out there so real. Yeah. So it's...
Now notice that you can see just a little bit of Dylan Roof's head just there to the right of the screen in the spot shadow. And the massacre happened just moments later inside that room. And
you see them all around that table, you know? I mean, whenever you see a round table, you think of something that is inclusive and that is very intimate there. And there was a survivor, of course, who says about 9 p.m. on Wednesday, Roof stood up, announced he was there to shoot black people, and opened fire. Our Yasmin Vasukian is back with us now. And Yasmin, I understand you've learned some more about what happened inside that church?
Yeah, so we've talked about Reverend Goff, obviously. He was an elder of the church. He was in the church just 20 minutes before the shooting occurred. John Goff, back with me, his son, a filmmaker who knew Pastor Pinckney very well. I know that you have a story about what happened inside that church during the shooting. Could you tell us that?
Yeah, I think one of the stories my mother told me was that the pastor's wife and their youngest daughter was in his study. My mother had been with them during the meeting, and so they were still there during the Bible study. And she hid underneath the desk, locked the doors, and covered her child and hid there in the dark until she felt it was safe to leave. And she didn't have her cell phone on her, and so she waited till she felt the coast was clear. She had heard him say, "I'm not crazy," heard the gunshots, waited, retrieved her cell phone, and called 911.
So Pastor Pinckney's wife heard Dylan Roof say, "I'm not crazy."
I'm not crazy, yes.
And she couldn't find her cell phone, and that's why there was a delay in contacting authorities?
She was afraid to move. She wanted to make sure that she would be safe,
yeah.
You know, that he wouldn't come after her.
Yeah, John, thank you for telling us that story. Obviously, Ali and Christy, you can just imagine the fear inside that church during that time.
Yeah, it's chilling just hearing the details recounted by John there. And we are starting to hear, Yasmin, from survivors and their families. So let's take a listen to Reverend Pinckney's cousin, Sylvia Johnson. He is one of the victims who lost his life. His wife told Sylvia what Roof said during the shooting.
I heard is after shooting a couple of rounds, her son tried to talk him into not committing any more acts of murder. After the young man tried to stop him from doing what he wanted to finish off, he said, "No, you've raped our women and you are taking over the country."
And he continued shooting.
And he shot the young man.
Alrighty, so we want to find out a little bit more about what exactly happened in there. And Yasmin, what else have you learned?
Yeah, we don't know a lot, Christy. Here's what we do know. We know that Dylan Roof sat inside that church for an hour before opening fire. We knew he was carrying a .45 caliber weapon in which he bought himself back in April. We know he reloaded that gun 5 separate times, a handgun. The elders and other people a part of this institution, they were contacted within 20 to 30 minutes of the shooting saying that something was going on, that there was a shooting in or around the church, not necessarily knowing that it was going on inside the church. And of course, this morning we saw about 8 or 9 FBI investigators going into the church. It's going to be a prolonged investigation. We have no idea when this yellow crime tape is going to come down or when services are going to resume, if they're going to resume on Sunday or not. But of course, we hope that the investigators bring us the full story, and we'll learn more as they do.
And I would imagine that people are eager to have that yellow tape lifted and to have an opportunity to go back and have a moment of solidarity and start the healing process. Thank you so much, Yasmin.